Hey, what's going on, everybody? Matthew from therighttrader.com, back again with another stock market video. And I am the best Tesla predictor on the internet. If you don't believe me, you can go look at my first video ever on my YouTube channel. I said that Tesla was going to reach $1,000, and that was before any splits. So I want to make very clear here that this is not coming from someone who is a perma bear or anything on Tesla. There's times where I've been extremely bullish on Tesla, and there's other times where I have been extremely bearish on Tesla, and this is actually going to be one of those times where I'm much more bearish. Now you can see that the current stock price is getting absolutely hammered. We are down right now 11.5% after their earnings call. And the earnings were actually not that bad, but they were disappointing to many analysts, and there are many questions that are now being raised from what happened with those Tesla earnings. Right now, we are back below $200. If we go look at the more detailed chart, which we're going to talk about in much more detail, we have fully gapped down by a huge amount here. So you can see that the last Tesla stock close price is around $207. We instantly fell on the open down to 193, and now we're continuing to sink lower. This is a very big move in a day for Tesla, and it is not slowing down, as we can see right now, right? It just keeps on dropping like a rock. So now we're going to have to talk about where Tesla is going to go next, and I'm going to go ahead and show you some interesting posts on Twitter that can give us some hints about this. But the bottom line here is that Tesla is in a very bad position long term. It got hammered by analyst reports today. Tesla stock drops on Q4 earnings miss. EV maker warns production growth rate will be notably lower than in 2023, which wasn't actually a great year for Tesla either by any metrics. Okay, you can also see here CEO Elon Musk, which I think that it's a pretty bad image here that he's doing, because he's just trying to damage control the whole situation, to be quite honest. So he said that the company's next gen vehicle will be coming in the second half of 2025. That's not like it's anywhere near, okay? That's quite a bit ways out. And until then, the stock could see below $100. We're going to talk about my price target, but I do think we're going to see below $100 for Tesla stock. Actually, we could even see, somewhere closer to $50, okay? So this whole thing is going to look like a pump and dump, if I am correct here. It's going to just look like an absolute pump and dump, coming right back to some previous levels that we were at in the past. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Let me go back to the actual earnings here. For the fourth quarter, Tesla reported top line revenue of $25 billion, slightly below the expectation of $25.87 billion. Okay, so the actual revenue was 25.17. That's a couple $100 million miss, so it's not completely something that you'll want to ignore. Revenue rose approximately 3% from a year ago. That's absolutely disastrous, considering that they're supposed to be a growth company, right? A 3% rise in revenue year over year is not a growth company. Now, they also reported a miss on EPS by 2 cents. Once again, something that Wall Street is going to decimate the stock for. And net income, once again, significantly below the expectation. So they basically missed on all metrics. It wasn't a huge miss, but it was a miss. And there's other things, okay, like, for example, their production outlooks and things like that have investors extremely concerned. Tesla actually said that its vehicle volume growth rate may be notably lower than in 2003, and they actually are not going to give any predictions on, those type of numbers, okay? So that is something that now a lot of investors are left in the dark, and I'm sorry to break your expectations, but that is just damage control, because the reason why they're not giving you more details is because it's probably going to be absolutely, worse than they want to let people know, which is why they're trying to cover it up and not, say anything more now, right? The stock is already getting decimated as we speak. The last thing that they want to do is throw more bad news in terms of future predictions for the stock price to potentially drop even lower, okay? So now we need to go digging into the chart a little bit, and then we're going to talk about some key Twitter posts. Right now, if we look at the chart, I kept these previous drawings just to show you we had a head and shoulders pattern that led to the drop. We then had a inverse head and shoulders that led to a recovery up to $300. Since then, we have not retested $300. That was indeed the high from what we can tell. And in fact, we have now been in a steady downtrend, which I'll go ahead and draw this in on the chart as such. This is our current downtrend line. Let me go ahead and now remove these two previous head and shoulders patterns because they're relevant. And actually, I can keep this because what we're really seeing here is a big rounded top, okay? Sort of like an inverse cup and handle, but this is something that could really crush the Tesla stock price. So let me actually go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about here. Make this a little bit cleaner for you guys. We'll go ahead and extend this out to the top and to the two, previous sides of Tesla stock, right? The initial run up and then the drop. And I could make this a little bit cleaner here, but this will give you a pretty good idea of what's going on. So let me go ahead and now clean up some of the previous drawings here. And you're going to see that right now, we have overall rounded top formation. Actually, now that I'm looking at it on top, we have so many bearish signals here, guys. It's not even funny. Let me know, of course, your thoughts down in the comment section below, but don't go thinking that I'm a perma bear on Tesla because, I was one of the biggest bulls on Tesla, and I correctly predicted a multi-1,000% bull run in Tesla at the very first video that I ever made on this channel. We have a big cup and handle, not only cup and handle, but also a big inverse head and shoulder pattern here that could lead us to really getting a big drop. So all the signs here are pointing towards a drop. If you want to get a quick estimate of the drop size, it's going to be very easy. Just take the top to bottom of right here, extend it out from the potential breakdown zone, which now the breakdown is already being confirmed. And, if you do it like this, it really makes it seem like the stock is going to go to $5. I'm not saying that the stock is going to go that low, but the reality is, guys, we have very concerning gaps. Okay, some people say that we'll never test these gaps again, but we have one as low as $43 over here. We have two major gaps that have never been retested, I believe. Let me just go and make sure. Yeah, never retested these two main gaps. Listen, if you're not thinking that the stock is going to go down to $44, which maybe we can avoid going that low, okay? There's a whole bunch of gaps that, in my opinion, based on the technical analysis here, this is not even me saying, guys, this is the technical analysis speaking, is that we're going to get crushed. Now, I am actually bullish when we reach these lower prices. I think these are going to be great buying opportunities. But until then, I'm very sorry to say that, now there's a bunch of people on Twitter. We're going to go over some of the tweets that are trying to do, damage control like Elon Musk and rationalizing this whole crash. There's nothing to rationalize here, guys. This is a disastrous outlook. Some people saying, oh, to provide context, look at how Tesla has performed on each day following the earnings release of the last 4 earnings. And it's dropping 10%, like this is something bullish. This is extremely bearish. And by the way, for people who posted tweets like this, I'm sorry to say, but first off, the fact that Tesla dropped every time it released earnings in the past 4 quarters, that's absolutely bearish. And on top of that, this drop is much worse than the other ones. We're already down over 11.5%. So we're actually performing even worse than the previous 4 earnings. And there's a lot more questions that are being left unanswered that are making investors feel uneasy, guys. Look at the chart setups here. So right now, our pretty much next guaranteed target, and in fact, we have a very big gap over here that we'll have to close again. We have to reach $150. That's the next medium to short-term target. Okay, which by the way, that is going to be a drop of, from the current price, about another 20%. Are we going to stop there? Absolutely not. And let me go ahead and put in our target levels here. Okay, so we're going to have our next big target level. Let's call it even our main target level, which is going to be down to around a 60% drop almost for Tesla, bring us down to $75. That is going to be my own personal target. Okay, that's when I would consider longing Tesla. But I do have to also let you know that there is a possibility that we would see us hit that last and final gap at $44. And that would actually mean a 75% drop for Tesla. You do have to remember, okay, that even though from the all-time high, we got to pull back down to 75%, Tesla is still a stock that is up, substantially compared to what's reasonable in the market. In just 5 years, it's still up 800%, guys. Don't go thinking that Tesla can't get crushed. It absolutely can, and it already is, okay? So the $150 target, no one should even be questioning that target, right? That's as clear as it can be for technical analysis. And we're even looking at these other levels like $85, $75, and then potentially even $45. So these are the main levels that you should be looking at. Like I said, don't even go thinking that we're not going to hit $150. That one is pretty much guaranteed. We might hit that in a matter of weeks. And after that, it's going to be just a more and more aggressive descent as the bearishness and the fear starts kicking in from all the Tesla fanboys, where they're just going to see the price, start losing $150. And after that, guys, we only have one last support level, and that's the support level right over here. That was the previous low, where we actually just did not break below $100. But I'm afraid to tell you guys that this time around, I think we're going to lose this support level. And then the next up is very clear. It's that $75 target because of the double gap here. So then, knowing how the stock market goes, there could be extreme fear and drama, people calling for Tesla bankruptcy, crazy stuff. So we could see one last flush down to $45. That's going to be a great opportunity. So my buy zone here, because despite my extremely bearish target, I don't want you guys thinking that I'm bearish Tesla long term, but right now it's being priced as an automotive company, and it is an automotive company right now. I'm sorry to say, for people that try justifying that it isn't, that's not true. 90% of the revenue, if not more, comes from selling cars. This is our buy target zone. Okay, I'll go ahead and draw this in for you guys. Buy target, Tesla buy target. And so that's going to be the only level where I would say you can considering buy Tesla for the long term. And it will be a very nice buy area if you're willing to stomach some risk and some extreme volatility and, drama headlines like I talked about, right? These headlines that I showed you guys are nothing compared to what's going to be happening when Tesla is below $100, right? Analysts baffled by Tesla not giving an outlook, can't think of another big company not to do so. Well, I think that's pretty clear where we're heading next, guys. We're heading towards that buy target that I set out for you. And you can thank me later for this. Of course, it's not financial advice, just my own personal opinion. If you don't want to listen to the person that correctly predicted the Tesla stock price from literally under $100 up to $1,000 back before any splits, then you can go listen to someone else who doesn't have that on their record and is probably going to be extremely wrong. So let's go through some key tweets here. I briefly mentioned this one, basically just the fact that the stock is at a high premium. I agree with this tweet. We had a 50% CAGR. We talked about a 3% revenue growth year over year now. So there's a whole different, metrics here that people need to start actually being realistic about, okay? This is a tweet that's trying to be kind of bullish. The fact of the matter is you can look at their numbers. You can try and, rationalize things with rebate and tax deductions or whatever Tesla people try to do. But the fact of the matter is the stock is getting crushed and it's not going to stop until it finds a clear bottom. And we know where that bottom is going to be. It's going to be somewhere around $75 to $45. This is also an interesting tweet, right? Just talking about some of the numbers. We can see the adjusted EPS, pretty ugly numbers here. The delivery estimates also in decline, right? So there's nothing really good here. Look at this delivery number, okay? 2,125K versus 2,187K. So those are things that people should take a look at, right? This is a tweet that I feel is trying to be a little bit, once again, kind of that typical Tesla bull nonsense, kind of being sarcastic. They only made $15 billion in profit and have only $291 billion in cash. That's great. That's not bad numbers for a company in and of itself, okay? You have the nice little highlight of the earnings or whatnot. That's all great, but let's get back down to reality. Tesla is priced at over $576 billion, and that's why it's getting crushed so hard, okay? Their bearish estimation should be somewhere between $50 billion to $100 billion in market cap. Look at where we are at now. I'm not saying that we're going to go that low, right? Now we're going to see a 90% drop, but I'm just saying theoretically, if this was to be priced accurately, it would be priced somewhere between $50 to $100 billion. Okay, maybe 150, but I think that we're going to head much, much lower. Down back to reality. We're talking 300 billion and below. Okay, somewhere probably between 170 to $300 billion. And I'll be there to say I told you so when we see those numbers. Okay, the $29 billion in cash is nothing to rationalize a company that's over $575 billion in market cap. That's completely crazy. This tweet that's trying to be bullish is actually posting something bearish. You can see the absolute carnage, right? Every major institution downgrading Tesla now, okay? So These are actually, they're just trying to save their own positions at this point. They know that $200 is overpriced right now for Tesla. They're trying to say, oh, well, fair price target, $220, $220, $300. RBC Capital, one of the biggest Tesla bulls, trying to save their position here, calling for a $300 price target. Listen, we're already below $200. Forget $200 right now until we hit that 75 to 50 buck area, and then you can long it for a 4x gain. Forget those price targets that even these companies that are trying to save their long positions are putting out, okay? Once again, Elon Musk trying to do damage control. Elon Musk says Chinese EV makers will pretty much demolish most competitors without trade barriers, okay? You can see his comment here. Frankly, I think if there are not trade barriers established, they will pretty much demolish most other companies in the world. Well, I just think that's a bit comical coming from Elon Musk, who for years was claiming that Tesla was the #1 EV and that nothing was even going to be, be able to touch Tesla, right? Able to, set the smallest amount of fear because that's how superior Tesla is. But now he's saying that any Chinese EV maker, even the worst one, are going to demolish Tesla and anything like it. So, you can see the damage control. You can see the, loss of reality there. And once again, right, I think Tesla will make a recovery after it tests its level. And that's going to be one of the best buying opportunities potentially in our lifetime to ride this thing back up, right? Multi-100% gains. But that's going to be if we see a clear sign that there is a recovery, because it's going to be very ugly when Tesla is this low and their numbers are probably worse than they are now. There's going to be a lot of bankruptcy fear for Tesla. I'm telling you guys right now. So after that's fully in the clear, right, and we maybe start recovering some key levels like $100, like $150, that's going to be the safe area to go long and to catch those multi-100% gains. You can already start accumulating, though, in that buy target area if you're willing to take on that additional risk with what that comes with, right? There's a couple critiques here saying that Elon Musk sells Tesla shares, buys Twitter, sells more Tesla shares, pays Twitter bills, and then, losing a lot of his stake in Tesla. So obviously Elon has always been something to, manage too many things at once, right? And that's something that shareholders don't like. And that's obviously being reflected once again, like it has in the past, in the actual Tesla stock price. I think this is a very interesting tweet to sum it all up. Elon Musk just said he thinks people shouldn't think of Tesla as a car company, but as an AI and robotics company. I'm sorry to say, but this is completely ludicrous, okay? Tesla is not a tech company like Microsoft or Apple, or it's not even an AI company like ChatGPT, right? They're not doing anything like that. They have the robotics arm that they're going to try building. Right now, none of their revenue is coming from robotics. So please don't talk about Tesla being an AI or robotics company right now. Okay, they just said that they weren't, their car numbers were going to be disastrous in the next year, basically. That's inherently what they're kind of insinuating. So when we're at $60, right, you're going to understand that the market is not pricing Tesla as an AI and robotics company. That might be for when, down the line in a year and a half, we have some recovery and we can start bouncing, sure, right? Run that narrative in AI and robotics and pump that thing up and long it, but at the right price, guys. Not here at $182, right? I saw so many tweets of people saying, long it now, this is the buy the dip opportunity, just to eat a 60% plus drop, maybe even more towards 75%. Completely crazy, guys. If you appreciate a realistic analysis coming from the best Tesla stock predictor in the entire internet, okay, go back, look at my history, go back on my channel, look at the oldest videos. My first video on my channel predicted the entire Tesla run. Yes, you heard that correctly. This entire run, I predicted it. Go look at it. It's on my channel from years ago. And now I'm telling you guys, we're going to get hit hard. I'm calling for this 60% plus drop. Okay. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to go follow my Twitter, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll keep you up on the Tesla stock, regardless of what happens. By the way, let's just hit that refresh button. Oh, look, we're down now 12.3%, guys. So I think it's pretty clear what's happening. We just lost $5 billion in market cap just during the making of this video. The flush is happening. The flush is here. And are we going to get some small bounces on the way? Possibly, right? But right now, I'm not even expecting much of a bounce until at least $150, at which point it's going to bounce a bit, right? A bunch of noobs are going to get caught in the trap just to eat another 50% drop once again. Stay realistic. Not telling you to be bearish long-term on Tesla, but short-term, we do have to be realistic. There's a lot of market conditions, not only with Tesla, but just the market as a whole, the US stock market, that's pointing towards a lot of bearishness, and Tesla is going to be one that's going to get hit hard. Thank you for watching this video, everybody, and I'll see you soon.